Okay, I want to welcome everyone to our e-commerce webinar. We have Rob Stutzman, our Boston subject matter expert on the topic. As we get started, I just want to talk about SCORE really quickly. There's two things that SCORE does that's really important to the small business community. One is training, and that training comes in the form of webinars and some scattered in-person workshops as well. I encourage you to watch out for the newsletter or to go to the website and find what's coming up. We don't have a large number of webinars this summer, but it does not mean that those topics aren't important, because we have a lot of really great topics, some of them brand new for the chapter that we're giving this summer. So I definitely encourage you to check those out and see what we have coming up, because it might be something that can help you. The most important thing that SCORE does is the mentoring. Mentoring is free and confidential. The reason it's free is because our mentors are volunteers, and they're volunteers that come to us with different experiences and knowledge to help those in the small business community. And we work from everyone from the very beginning up through and into business ownership. So we're working with those that are trying to decide if small business ownership is right for them. We're working with those that are in that planning phase. We're helping them get those plans solidified. And we're working with those that are already in business. And they're coming to us with a variety of questions and concerns that we can work with them on. It could be bookkeeping, it could be marketing and branding, it could be sales. You name the business topic, and we are here to help you get through any challenges or goals that you might have. So a beginning session is going to be a get to know you. They want to learn about you, what your goals and your challenges might be, and they'll help formulate a plan to get you there. Sometimes they'll bring in other mentors to help supplement as needed. They work as a team. So it's a fantastic experience. I think that very rarely does anyone ever say otherwise. It just helps you round out your business knowledge so that you're making sure you're seeing everything that needs to be done to help your business be as successful as it could be. So how do you get that mentor? So it's very, very simple. If my slide would advance, there we go. Just go to score.org. There's a little box for that says match me by zip code. Put your zip code in, and it will take you into sending a request to the chapter that's nearest you, and they will reach out to you to get you booked with one of their volunteers in that chapter. You can also go directly to the different chapters in our district, and here's the list here. I can put that in chat after we get going here. While you're on the website, take a look at the library section. You will be amazed at all the information that's there available to you. There's templates to download, there's blogs, there's short little presentations. Strongly encourage you to fish through there and see if there's some information in there that could be useful to you. So we are going to use the Q&A tab. It's on your Zoom bar, and that is for submitting a question to the presenter. That's helpful to us so we don't lose track of the questions, because it allows us to organize the questions and not miss them, because sometimes chat, they get rolled up in there and with other things, and it's hard to find them all. So chat for everything else, but if you have a question for our presenter today, please put it into the Q&A tab. So I'm going to bring that back down, and I'm going to allow Rob to get his screen going, and I'll turn it over to you.
Fantastic. Thank you, Teresa. Let me get myself situated here. Close that down. Activate the slide show. And away we go. Well, let me add my word of welcome to everybody. We're so glad you could join us on this Friday afternoon, probably after a long work week. And so let's just take time today to kick back, relax, and enjoy learning a little bit about e-commerce. get my slide to advance. So what I like to do is I like to get to know my audience before I launch into the content. So what Teresa is going to do is after I show you the questions here on the slide, she'll bring up a poll, and we'd like you to go ahead and fill out that poll. The first question that we're going to talk about is, do you currently conduct e-commerce? Are you currently using e-commerce within your business today? The second question is, what do you currently sell? Do you sell hard goods, such as products, or do you sell soft goods, such as books, music, and software? Do you sell services? Services are rather challenging in the e-commerce world to sell services, but we'd like to know if people out there are selling services. And finally, which e-commerce platform do you think small businesses and entrepreneurs should use? And we've given you some selections here. So why don't you go ahead and fill out that poll. And while you're filling that out, I'll give you a little bit more of who I am. I've been in business for over 40 years. I spent the bulk of my time with Verizon Communications, leading global teams in marketing initiatives. I was there for 30 years, had a wonderful career, and retired from Verizon. When I retired, I set up an LLC for myself called Stutzman Consulting. And within SCORE, what I am is a subject matter expert, and I'm focused on marketing and social media. And I'm the chair for marketing and social media within SCORE. You can reach me. There's my email, and I also hang out on LinkedIn as well, and you'll see my LinkedIn information. So, okay, so Teresa, let's bring up the results of the poll. Okay, so it looks like the majority of people here either are not doing e-commerce or want to do e-commerce, so that's good. We're glad. I think you'll find this information valuable today as we go through it. What do you currently sell? The majority sell hard goods, which is also good because that is the type of product most suited for e-commerce. That and soft goods are the ones most suited for e-commerce. There are some people that are selling services as well. There are a few out there who said other, and I'd be just curious if you want to drop it in the chat, what you're selling out there that came under the category of other. And then finally, what e-commerce platform do you think small businesses and entrepreneurs should use? Quite interesting. I've done this webinar a few times, and this is the first time Shopify has come in as the most popular choice that people should use within the realm of e-commerce. Amazon is always near the top, as well as eBay, but interesting that Shopify makes the #1 list as far as our webinar today. Great. Well, thank you very much for taking that poll. We appreciate it. And I'm having a little bit of a hard time getting my slides to advance, but bear with me. Okay, so what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about e-commerce. We're going to define e-commerce. We're going to talk about the top major platforms. We're going to define what those platforms are. We're going to define what the key elements are. We're going to look at some use cases and then what the benefits and costs are. And we're going to walk through and talk about choosing the right platform. And then finally, we're going to look ahead to the future. So why do small businesses use e-commerce? When it came out, e-commerce has been around since about 1995, when the internet started taking on popularity and more people were using the internet. At first, you saw a lot of websites were kind of brochure models. They talked about their company, they talked about their product. Somewhere along the line, someone said, hey, we can sell stuff over this network. And so that really was the leading of e-commerce, the e-commerce industry. So it's been around for quite a while. Small businesses use e-commerce for market reach. When you think about what the geography that the internet covers, it's worldwide. And so if you want to reach the world with your product, you have the availability through e-commerce to do that. People use it for brand testing. A lot of larger companies will take and put a particular brand out there and test it within the marketplace before they go full bore into marketing that brand. People use e-commerce for competitive analysis. A lot of times, if you are researching on a particular product, you want to look and see what other companies are offering within that area that you're looking at. So people will use it for competitive analysis. People use it for market analysis. They want to see, is there a market for a particular product or service out there? And so they'll test that market within e-commerce. And then new product launches. You've got a new product, you want to get it out there. You want to get some sales going up and running real quickly. You can do that through e-commerce. And ultimately, what people are using e-commerce for is top line revenue growth. So why is e-commerce important? Well, it's important because it's growing. It's almost $1 trillion a year industry. And the other thing that is important about e-commerce is that it continues to encroach on regular commerce, on regular retail. And so not only are the dollars increasing, but the types of sale, where the sales are being made, more and more are coming across within e-commerce. Part of it is that culture and society have adapted e-commerce. They feel it's reasonably safe, depending on what platform you're using and what platform you're buying things off of. So they've adopted it more and more each year. It's important to small business. There's a lot of pressure on small businesses to feel like they have to have an e-commerce presence. And if for no other reason, they feel they have to have a presence out there because their competition has a presence out there. So there's a lot of pressure on small business to make sure they have a presence within e-commerce. All right, before I go on, I just want to check with Teresa. Do we have any questions so far?
No, not right yet.
Terrific. These are the major players we're going to cover today. We're going to talk about Amazon. We're going to talk about eBay, Shopify, Etsy, Facebook, and Google. To harness the power of this big six is really to harness the future of e-commerce. Amazon, again, is usually at the top of the list when it comes to e-commerce. They are the gold standard, in my opinion. They are the ones that have done the best with e-commerce. They provide the greatest surround. They also provide the best customer service among other types of offerings that are out there. They're known for their disruption. They will go into well-established industries, and with their technological innovation and mass scale, they'll actually go in and disrupt industries to the point that when they even announce that they might be going into a particular industry, it sends shockwaves through that industry because they're so large out there. They are the largest online marketplace for business to business and business to consumer. Last year, they had almost $500 billion in sales, up almost 10% from the year earlier. And when you compare it to Walmart, which is the largest traditional retailer out there, although they had greater revenues at $572 billion, they were only up 2.4% from a year earlier. So, e-commerce, Amazon, catching up to Walmart and becoming more and more embraced by society. So what are the key elements of the Amazon platform? Well, first, you have a listing. You have the ability for customers to come in. They can search for your product and services. And when they go to want to order something, the fulfillment could be done by you as the seller, or the fulfillment could be done by Amazon. They provide customer service and provide advertising. They have also a philanthropic arm to them called Smile, and the smile.amazon.com allows 501(c) organizations to have people purchase things through Amazon. And when they purchase it through Amazon, they'll pass a certain percentage off to that 501(c), that charity that's out there. So a nice philanthropic feature that they offer. And they have Seller Central, where they give you the information and the platforms to see how your store is doing, and to see where your sales are at and where there's need for improvement. When it comes to setting up shop within Amazon for individual sellers, there's a 99-cent fee for each item that's sold if it's under 40 per month. If you're selling over 40 items per month, you're considered a professional seller, and they'll charge you $39.99 per month. So nice to know that if you're selling 200 items a month, you're only paying $39.99. But they do allow you the opportunity to ramp up. There's referral fees, and that can vary in percentages based on the category of what the product is that you're selling. Some products have about an 8% referral fee, while others can have up to 15% referral fees. And then there's fulfillment fees that are based on the weights and dimensions of products. And there could be inventory fees if you are having them store your inventory. They do provide the ability to advertise. And if you want to take a look at it and further go into their pricing more in depth, you can go to amazon.com/pricing and get a more direct information on what the product or service is that you are selling. Some use cases. Again, far and away, Amazon is used to sell hard goods. You could consider it the Mall of America. It's where you have a variety of not only hard goods, but soft goods as well, books and CDs. You can find those there. It's got brand recognition. When you say that you are selling yourself on Amazon, that adds a certain amount of credibility to what it is that you're selling. They say, "Oh, you're on Amazon. You must be a big outfit out there, because only the big outfits could be on Amazon." They offer outsourced fulfillment. If you have items that you would rather they provide the fulfillment for, you don't necessarily want to warehouse your inventory. You'd rather have them warehouse the inventory. They offer that. They offer greater traffic. Obviously, they are advertising their platform to get people to come into their platform to purchase things. And so if you are in that platform, you're under that umbrella that Amazon, the advertising that Amazon is doing to get people to come onto their platform. And there's great exposure to your clientele out there. The great thing about a client coming into Amazon, they're searching, they already are predisposed to what they're looking for. And so they come in and they use the powerful search engine within Amazon to find the items that they're looking for. And so when they hit your particular storefront, they already are a qualified prospect for what you have to sell. And so they're an intelligent purchaser, and that's a good thing about Amazon. The benefits of being on Amazon: you've got global reach. It's an established and trusted brand. It's a highly trafficked site, and it's got excellent customer service. I just rave and rave about their customer service. They really blanket their clients out there because they want them to have a good experience, and they'll lean on their vendors. They'll lean on their people that are selling goods, and if they're finding that they're not getting good responses, or they're finding that they have to provide a lot of customer service, they'll talk to the people selling on their platform to make sure that they bring themselves up to the Amazon quality. And they're the largest online marketplace within the US. Within eBay, eBay is a consumer to consumer and business to consumer sales through its website. It manages an online auction and a shopping website where people can buy and sell a wide variety of goods and services worldwide. It's free to use for buyers, but sellers are charged fees for listing items after a limited number of free listings, and again, when those items are sold. The key elements within the eBay platform, they've got, again, a powerful search engine. They provide an auction capability. If you have an item that you want to put a bid on, hopefully you're going to purchase it for lower than retail. It allows you to come in and place bids in an auction form. It's got a buy it now feature. If you come in, you see a particular item, you want to buy it immediately, it allows you to do that. It provides listings and it provides a seller protection where it will, if there's buyers out there who are not fulfilling their end of the bargain, they will protect the seller against buyers that are looking to not behave themselves within the eBay platform. And there's an eBay store. There's an ability to set up a storefront within the eBay platform. Their costs, there's an insertion fee of 35 cents, but that's only after you've exceeded 250 listings. So you have the ability to list up to 250 items per month. And when somebody comes in and purchases an item, there's a find value fee, which is a percentage of the total amount of the sale, usually 10 to 15%, based on the category, again, based on category of product. And it's about 30 cents per order, which is a fixed fee on the eBay platform as well. The use cases within eBay, it's for selling hard goods. It's for people that are selling via auction. It's people that want to sell on a global platform. It is self-governing. And it's got collectibles and rare goods. So if you have something that is in an item that is appealing to kind of a smaller community, rather than putting that on Amazon, perhaps you might put it on eBay, where a lot of people come into eBay looking for collectibles and rare goods. And people use it for just reducing outdated inventory. They have the ability to sell that online through eBay. The benefits, it's a well-known site. It also provides outsourced fulfillment. It's got a domestic and international reach. And it's an opportunity to bid up products. And it provides online shopping for users who prefer marketplaces. Moving on to Shopify. Shopify is a subscription-based software that allows anyone to set up an online store and sell their products. It offers online retailers, the ability to sell their services. It includes payments and marketing, shipping, and customer engagement tools. It also has a very nice point of sale inventory integration. If you have a brick and mortar storefront, you have the ability through Shopify to actually integrate your physical storefront with your online storefront, and enables you to manage pricing and point of sale and inventory information between those two ways that people can purchase your product and services. The company has more than 1.7 million businesses in 175 countries using its platforms. It's a large entity. It's more for people that want to set up a storefront that they want to, instead of being part of a marketplace, they want to be more on their own. And they want to create a site where people can come to and they can sell to them direct one-on-one. And it enables you to create a very customized website that looks very much like it's unique to you. The key elements of the Shopify platform, it's not only online, but it offers point of sale. People can use the buy button to go to the checkout. It's got different sales channels associated with it. It's got a wholesale marketplace. You can create a custom storefront, and it's got a Shopify app store for people that want to purchase apps over Shopify. The basic cost for Shopify is $29 per month. For the basic service, you can get the premium service for $79 a month, and you can get up to the advanced Shopify, which is $299 a month. Those are for people that are putting a lot of volume through Shopify to sell their products. You get shipping discounts of up to 88%, where they're providing fulfillment through your product going through their system. They have additional fees for online credit card rates and in-person credit card debit rates, and transaction fees if you're not using the Shopify payments. But Shopify enables you to use their payment processing to sell your goods. The use cases, people use Shopify for brand building. Again, they want to have a unique presence out there. They want to interact with people very much in a one-on-one fashion. They're for people that want to create stores and have greater control over their storefront, and have an outsourced management of their e-commerce site. It's great for showcasing products and projects. It's great for press releases, and it's great for reaching a younger demographic. The younger people are more likely to embrace an e-commerce platform than other age groups. Let me just pause there, take a breath. And Teresa, do we have any questions that have come in?
It's not quite related, and I'm not sure if this is one you can answer, but if someone posts products on Instagram, do you know if they can incorporate a buy it now button?
They can use a feature called Instagram Shops. And Instagram Shops enables them to put a shopping cart within their post. And from that shopping cart, they can link it to, I believe they link it out to their website to actually consummate the sale. But they can create a shopping cart within Instagram. And Instagram is integrated with Facebook. So there's a certain benefit that you get by being on both platforms.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's move on to Etsy. Etsy's an online marketplace as well. It's where it's designed for people that are, artists and craftsmen, or they collect, vintage and handmade and customized, whether it be jewelry or clothing. It attracts those kind of buyers, and it competes with brands like Shopify and Amazon. But it's really carved out a corner of the market thanks to a seller pool that's coincidentally over 80% women, and so they have cut a niche within the e-commerce world. They focus on handmade and vintage items. Their requirement is that any vintage item must be at least 20 years old, and then everything on the site is made, collected, and curated and sold by its sellers. The key elements, it's a marketplace as opposed to Shopify, which is a storefront. It also provides listings. It provides services to the seller. It provides third-party payment processing, and has the ability to advertise over their platform as well. You can create a shop on Etsy for free. However, every listing that is posted in the shop costs 20 cents. So every listing will remain on the shop's page for a maximum of 4 months or until someone buys the product. The prices of the products are set by the shop owner, but Etsy claims 5% of the final price of each listing and a 5% postal fee as well. The use cases, it's for people that are selling hard goods. It's for people that are selling into a niche, whether it be vintage good or collectibles. It caters to a discerning customer base, and it's an up-and-coming e-commerce platform. So again, if you have a product or service that's very unique, very much in the collectible arena, you'll want to consider Etsy as a platform. Okay. Let's talk a little bit about Facebook, which is now known as Meta. It's housed within their marketplace, is housed within their social media, social network platform. You can buy and sell items in primarily a business to consumer environment. And my experience with marketplace is that it's more of a classified ad experience. There's not a whole lot of coordination. There is some, you have the ability to list, and there is some ability to search for different items, but it doesn't give me the cohesiveness of what you get on the other marketplaces that you have availability to. But it is within the Facebook community, and Facebook has 2.5 billion users. And Facebook is always looking for ways to keep the users within their ecosystem. And so for them, the ability to provide the ability to buy and sell goods on their platform is important. But I think they just, there's a lot of room for improvement within the marketplace feature. It does provide listings. It provides the ability to browse. It provides live shopping features. If you want to bring something on and create an event around your particular good or service, you can do that within Facebook. It's got a notification feature that when a particular product comes online, you can be notified by Facebook, and it allows you to not only buy but sell as well. There's a dashboard available to those that are sellers. You can create promotions within the platform, and there's a link to Instagram with their @shop on Instagram. That features on there. Their selling fee is 5% per shipment, or a flat fee of 40 cents for shipments that are $8 or less. It includes taxes, and it includes the cost of payment processing. It applies to all checkout transactions for all product categories on Facebook and Instagram. And if a customer files a chargeback, Facebook will place a hold on the transaction until the chargeback is resolved, and any fees that you incur will appear within your financial reports from Facebook. The people that use Facebook are the ones that are primarily in a business to consumer or consumer to consumer, but primarily a business to consumer sale. It's got classified goods that you can sell within a local geography. So if you have particular products that you want to keep within a particular geography, you can sell them through Marketplace. You can sell with photos and videos. You can sell outdated inventory again as well. The benefits, it's great for business to consumer. It's got billions of potential customers. It's international in scope. You've got a captive audience within Facebook, and there's easy access from the Facebook platform. All right, let's move on to Google. Google. Now, you might be interested into understanding, why is Google appearing on an e-commerce presentation? Aren't they really just a search company? Google is humongous, and it offers a tremendous amount of different applications, and one of those is shopping. Shopping is a Google service that allows users to search for products and services online, and then linking them to the websites where they can then purchase the items. It's free to set up a Google account within shopping, and when you do that, it enables your clients to order through the Google platform. In addition to shopping from well-known online stores, users can shop with confidence with lesser-known online stores when they choose to buy directly on Google, which includes a Google-backed guarantee. The guarantee includes Google customer support, which is available 7 days a week, and added assistance if the order is late and if something is wrong with the shipment, and to simplify the return and refund process, regardless of who the seller is. So they're providing a nice customer service around within their platform. The elements is a merchant center. A merchant center is for the seller. It's where the seller sets up their account and where the seller can interact with Google and get reporting on what's selling and what get different tips and tricks from Google as well. They also provide listings, and they provide smart shopping campaigns where people have the ability to look for products and services that are linked to a particular campaign within Google, and then get access to your site. They offer advertising, and a lot of the ways that people will find your particular storefront will be going through the advertising that you put up on Google. There's best practices support and 7x24 customer sort as well. They've got a 0% commission fee for selling on their platform. They will charge you a cost per click, and their average cost per click is $2.69. So that's somebody coming into your storefront for which you're going to then sell them your product or service. The Google auction can drive the cost per click higher. It's contingent upon factors such as industry, current trends, and product or service costs. And if you're just starting to run Google Ads, it's a good idea to begin conservatively. The best way to ensure you don't overspend on Google Ads is with a low daily budget. So they are all about, Google's all about driving eyeballs to websites. That's why they have such a robust search capability. But they also have the ability to showcase products and services while people are searching for particular product and goods. And they allow buyers to create greater awareness through online advertising. And when the user comes to your website, they're already conditioned to buy because they've been searching and doing research on the good and service that you have to offer. They're the #1 driver of business to retail sites. It's the first place shoppers go to discover a new item or product. They've got over 1 billion users. They're global in reach, and they've got a broad distribution. So it's an opportunity for you to get your expose your product or service to a tremendous amount of people that are out there. So before I go on, let me just pause again and say, Teresa, have we had any additional questions come in?
Yeah. This person, if I don't have a specific product to sell, but buy a pre-established Shopify store, given the high volume of stores, is it cost effective for generating a side hustle revenue stream?
That you might, let me see. If I don't have a specific product to sell, but buy a pre-established Shopify store, given the high volume of stores, is it cost effective for generating a side hustle? So you're talking about purchasing a store that already exists within Shopify, if I'm getting that question correct. Yes, it would be a cost-effective way of creating a side hustle revenue stream. You'll have to pay attention to it. You'll have to market it, just as you would market a brick and mortar store that's out there. But yes, you could certainly purchase a Shopify store and have that create a revenue stream on the side for you. No doubt.
You mentioned credit card charges on Shopify, but not on Amazon. I would assume they could probably go to the Amazon section and find out what those costs would be.
Yes, if you go to www.amazon.com/pricing, you'll get information on all things pricing related to Amazon.
Okay. Can you please talk a bit more on selling logistics through these platforms? If you sell products and post through, let's say, Amazon, and the sale goes through, would I ship the product? I would ship the product, ? Any recommendations on how to calculate shipping charges and incorporate them into the prices?
Great question. And Amazon actually provides a nice pricing calculator on their platform to give you an idea of all the costs of what you are planning on selling, so that you can set the appropriate pricing. for it. But in terms of selling through Amazon, you have two choices. You can choose to fulfill it yourself, where you'll maintain the inventory. And what Amazon will do is they'll just pass that customer over to you. You'll interface with the customer directly, and then they'll buy from you. You're going to have a website, of course, but they'll come into your website, they'll purchase from you, and you'll do the fulfillment. Or you could choose to have Amazon provide the fulfillment. And by doing so, what you do is you would send inventory to Amazon. They would hold that inventory, and then when requests for sale or buyers come in, they purchase the items that would come out of the Amazon inventory, and then they would let you know when different things need to be replenished.
Okay. This one's a little bit more business specific, so this might be a good mentor question, as for them to get an appointment, but we'll put it out there anyway. Which platform is best to sell photos? How do you protect them from being copied? And best ways to self-publish and market a book?
Okay, let me take the photo question first. Photos on the internet, very hard to protect. But what you will see that people do out there when they put photos up, they'll put a watermark on the particular photo that says sample. So if anybody tries to copy that particular photo, they're going to get, it's going to have a big sample stamped across it, which will deter them from copying that photo off of the internet. As far as it depends on the type of photo that you're selling. If you're selling, photos of a general nature, if you have a website that's currently up and running, you might consider Google Shopping as a place to place an ad and to drive traffic to your particular website. To have them see your photos that are out there. Let me take the second question here. The best way to self-publish a book you've written. Well, certainly Amazon. Amazon is a huge marketplace for selling books. People often go to Amazon. You could, Barnes and Noble, you could consider Barnes and Noble and selling your particular book on that. Generally, if you have somebody that you're working with currently, if they're a public relations individual or somebody that's helping you to publish that book, they will know of additional marketplaces where you can put that book, depending on the genre that you have created the book for. But if you want to be on the biggest platform where books are sold, Amazon by far would be what you'd want to consider.
And I want to add to that, we do have 2 mentors at Boston that are in the professional photography realm. So that might be something to keep in mind. And there was another question that came through chat, and I apologize, I'm not sure when it came through, so I'm not sure what it applies to exactly, but we are a nonprofit. Does that alter the fees? And I'm not sure which fees that might be applied to, but
yeah, I mean, that could potentially apply across the board. And I'm not sure if it would affect the only one that I'm aware of that is available for nonprofits is the one through Amazon that they call Smile. And Smile allows you to sell items at retail. And then what they do is they pass along a percentage to the nonprofit when goods are sold.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to interrupt you, Rob, because we did get to a couple comments on Smile. Apparently that was discontinued the last month.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so we're gonna have to look into that one.
That's why we do these webinars.
Yeah, we learn too.
Thank you very much for that news.
Yeah, I do have a couple more questions that have come up. Can I go ahead and read those? Is Etsy still the best place to sell one-of-a-kind handmade accessories and small artwork?
Yes.
Okay. Most of my sales are local, so I pay Rhode Island sales tax. I don't qualify to need to pay sales tax in other states. So what do you suggest to help document the other sales tax purposes I generate through my website?
Yeah, depending on the platform you go with, they'll calculate what the sales tax is for that particular state.
I have a website, but not sure how to get started, how to start how to start the selling process. Can someone help me? Certainly contact us and we can get you set up with a mentor to go through the details with you. All right, that's it.
All right, thank you very much. All right, let's talk about the 6 platforms and how they kind of compare and contrast with each other. What's the same? They all provide listings. They all provide advertising options. Most provide fulfillment, the ability for you to outsource fulfillment. Most provide returns and the ability to take in those returns and resolve customer issues. Most provide shipping. Most provide credit card transactions, and all are big and getting bigger. So what's different? Amazon's a trusted provider with a very high user volume. I just can't rave enough about Amazon and their ability to provide really top-notch customer service. And it's not inexpensive to be on Amazon. But when you are, and people realize that you're within Amazon, it provides a measure of comfort to those that are purchasing out there. They like the fact that you are partnered with Amazon. eBay, if you have something that you want to have access to both an auction and a sales price option, you can do that through eBay. If you have inventory that is just not selling and it's excess inventory and you need to get rid of it, get it out of your inventory, you can put that stuff on eBay and get information, get the items sold through eBay. Shopify is for those that want to set up a storefront, but they really don't really know where to start, and they don't know all the elements. They need somebody to guide them through the process, but they don't want to be part of a marketplace. They want to be a little bit more unique, stand on their own, but be associated with a marketplace. Shopify can do that, and they can set you up with a very customized website. Etsy, if you want to reach niche markets. Facebook primarily focused on the individual consumer, and Google is if you have an established website, you've got the ability to sell across your website. You just want to drive additional traffic. That's where you're going to consider Google. So how do you leverage the platforms? If you want to be associated with the world's largest e-commerce site, use Amazon. If you want to auction items as well as sell items, consider eBay. If you want a turnkey storefront with fulfillment and support, consider Shopify. If you want to reach a niche market, consider Etsy. If you have a consumer-oriented product, use Facebook. And if you want to drive business to your website, you'll want to consider Google as a top priority. So which do you choose? With limited resources, small businesses are wise to do the research to determine which provider will give you the biggest bang for your buck. So when you move down the decision tree, the first thing you want to do is, first of all, do I want to build my own site, or do I want to leverage a platform? Think about your product or service and think about what it's costing you today to manufacture and to ship, and take into account what is costing you today to do everything on your own, including getting traffic to come to your site. So you might want to consider leveraging a marketplace to get you started. And then as you get bigger and more popular, you can always open up your own site as well, or migrate from a marketplace over to your own site. You have to define your addressable market. Are you looking to sell locally? Are you looking to sell worldwide? So think about what your addressable market is and where you want to sell. Determine how visual you want your product or service to be. If you have a highly visual product, you want to consider putting that on a marketplace, because they all require some kind of images for people to take a look at, usually multiple images. So determine how visual your product or service is, and decide how you want your goods fulfilled and the payments processed. If you want to fulfill your own goods, you could do that through, either through your standalone website, or you can use it through, have the platform just pass the information over to you and you do the fulfillment, or they can do the fulfillment for you. And you have to determine how you want your payments processed. They're all going to pass along the charges that credit card companies charge them, which is around 3% per transaction. So you have to factor that in when you're talking about what you're going to price your product or service at. Let's talk about the future. The future, some megatrends. We talked about Instagram, and Instagram shops is becoming more popular. People are staying within the Instagram ecosystem, and they want to, Instagram is a very visual platform, and people, when they see the different products and services, they want them to have the ability to purchase them. They do allow you to have the ability to link that individual to your website to sell them that product or service. TikTok is also a TikTok for business. It enables people to set up a shop within TikTok's ecosystem, and they can sell their goods and services through that platform. They're not as big as the others, but they're up and coming. They're growing and becoming more popular. The other megatrend, voice shopping. People you'll be seeing in the future the ability for people to talk into their mobile devices, and that mobile device will enable them to actually shop using their voice. Artificial intelligence, which is all the rage right now, you'll see more and more of it within the e-commerce world. It's going to provide the ability for people to provide enhanced customer service, and also the ability for clients or for sellers to provide intelligence for people coming in to buy their goods, to offer other goods that they might want to consider. Mobile commerce is growing by leaps and bounds. And anything you have to consider now when you're setting up a store, you have to consider that mobile user out there. And do I have presence, or has my site been set up to work with anybody who's got a mobile device out there? There's continued marketing automation in the area of email and multi-channel. There's enhanced visuals that are always being developed to support people's brand. Video marketing. It's video in general across the social media platforms and even within websites is becoming the way to hold people's attention and a way to get their attention. People are no longer satisfied with just text, or maybe text with an image. They want to see some kind of multimedia associated with the content. So it's something to be thinking about as you move forward. Be thinking about dynamic pricing. Dynamic pricing will be the ability for pricing to be set based on trends that are out there. And omni-channel shopping, the seamless experience. People, having the ability to jump from a Facebook to an Instagram, but then from an Instagram to an eBay, or from an eBay to Google, or from Google to Shopify. All these channels are working to try to get people to jump from one channel to the next. And as we look farther into the future, one thing that Facebook Meta introduced was the metaverse. It's the ability to provide online 3D virtual environments, so you could envision yourself coming into a storefront, actually interacting with an avatar, if you will. You'll be an avatar, there'll be an avatar there. You could show them your goods that you're selling. They could purchase their goods and buy that information. Metaverse has gotten a lot of press but a lot of questions are coming with it as well. And it probably isn't something that we'll see to any grand scale for about another 5 years or so. But when you've got Facebook and Google and Apple investing billions of dollars in the metaverse, it's going to create something. But a lot of people are just wondering what the real application, the killer app is going to be that's going to use the metaverse. Okay, so Teresa, do we have any final Q&A?
Sorry, I did get a couple questions on websites and having it about dealing with selling on your own website. There is another webinar coming up on website planning and SEO and at the end of this month, and I put that link in chat. That might be a great forum to ask those questions. Unless Rob, you wanted to add anything to that now?
No, I think
Okay.
Going to the next webinar will be great.
Okay. And then I have a question on that's really about marketing and driving traffic to your company. And that's a little bit more marketing related than what we intended to address at this on this webinar. I don't know if you had any comments you want to give on that, but I would suggest getting a more mentor to work with you on creating the best branding and marketing for your company.
Yes, I'm sorry. What was the question again?
Driving traffic to your
driving traffic. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, all the platforms provide advertising to drive traffic to your particular storefront. If you want to drive advertising to your website, people will often use Google ads. I think you get or Facebook ads. Personally, I think you get a better bang for your buck using Google ads than you do Facebook ads. But you have those two platforms to drive traffic to your site as well as social media in general. Telling people what the latest offerings are that you have could get people to drive traffic to your site.
Okay. And then what about the smaller players? Are those worth trying?
I'm not familiar with Gumroad at all, and it would depend on whether it aligns with your goals as a business. If it's something that is more local in nature, and you're geographically want to sell your goods more local in nature, then it would include that as well.
Does shipping include insurance? I guess that.
Yeah. That's going to be something that, depending on who's doing the fulfilling, we'll let you know what those shipping costs involve.
GoDaddy to launch. What about using GoDaddy to launch an e-commerce site?
GoDaddy would be a place where you might have your e-commerce site. I'm not familiar with anything that they do over and above that to get you out there. But as far as if you want to set up a site relatively quickly, that is fairly intuitive, and they provide the support to get you up and running, it's a great platform to do that. They will help you along the way and get you up and running, but you are going to have a storefront then that just like when you think in traditional commerce, you're going to have to figure out how to advertise to get people to come to your storefront.
Okay. Can you use more than one platform? Etsy for jewelry, Amazon for books?
Absolutely. There's no problem doing that as long as you're willing to pay their fees.
Okay, well, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. I think that we were able to share a lot of great information, and if you've got more questions later, reach out to SCORE. Again, the mentorship is free, so you've got nothing to lose, and we're there to help try and find you answers the best we can. So yeah, I guess I have nothing else. So I want to thank Rob and everyone for joining us today, and everyone have a great 3-day weekend.
Bye-bye, everybody.